Hey everyone, my name is Mel. I am a yoga instructor. I'm going to take you through a series of different classes, chair yoga, yoga at work, power yoga, yoga for strength, and yeah, we're going to get things rolling today. So this will be the first class. If you wanted to watch this one first, then you can get to know some of the basic poses, and then we'll move into more advanced poses. I've been teaching for a number of years, and I just wanted to share yoga with everybody at home or wherever you are, at the office, friend's house, whatever you like to do. So we're going to get started. This is our very basic poses. So we're going to start down on the ground to begin with, and we're going to lie right down on our mat. So we're coming to a lying position, lowering ourselves down. We're just going to let our shoulders sit back, crown of our head pushes forward, chin tucked slightly in. Good. So we're just going to bring our hands to our abdominal area. We're going to take some deep breaths in. So just connecting with our breath, noticing that breath moving in and out. Good. So we want to just bring ourselves into the moment, letting go of our ego, letting go of any thoughts or emotions, just being here in the moment, knowing that life really only happens right here. Good. So we're going to start with an easy crunch. So we're bringing our hands behind our head. You can interlace your fingers or stack them one on top of the other, whatever you prefer. And we're going to bring our elbows back, keeping them in this position. We're going to lift our chin and our chest as we exhale up in a crunch position. Inhale, lower down. Good. Exhale, roll up and squeeze. Inhale, slowly lower down. Just keep that going. One breath, one movement. Good. One more time. Excellent. And release down. Bringing our hands down by our sides, palms on the mat. We're going to step our feet slightly in, and we're going to move into our bridge pose. So we're going to push into those heels, start to lift the hips up, coming into that bridge pose. So we're holding here. We want to keep our knees in line with our hips. So using those inner thighs to hold them there. Nice long line from our shoulders up to our knees. Just hold this pose. We're going to start to move this into a flow. So we're going to exhale, lower it down. And we're going to inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Good. A few more times. And releasing down. Good. We're going to pull those knees into the chest, holding behind the knees on the hamstrings. If we pull on top, we tend to put a little bit extra pressure on our knees. So we hold behind to release that pressure. Starting to rock from side to side, we're going to massage our spine. So you'll notice that I don't play any music in my videos because it's your practice and I feel like you should listen to the music that you want to listen to. So before you start any of the classes that I do, just put on your favorite tracks, whatever it may be. You can do it to AC/DC if you want, for all I care. Just something that gets you in the mood, gets you in your space, letting go of any thoughts. Also, you'll notice that some of the movements are holding poses and some of them are flowing poses. So I do a Hatha Vinyasa mix type of yoga. Good. Hold it back at center. We're just going to release one leg out onto the mat. So dropping one foot down. We're going to pull that other knee right into our chest, holding here, just stretching out that hamstring. If you like, you can start to rotate that ankle around. And in the other direction. Excellent. So drop that foot down, pull the other one up. Knee comes right into the chest. Starting to rotate that ankle around. And in the other direction. Great. Lowering that foot down. Good. So we're going to roll on to one side now, coming into a sleeping baby pose. So sleeping baby, we're going to tuck our hands under our head, knees come in, just taking a few deep breaths, allowing that air to get all through our body. Noticing our ribs lifting and lowering with every breath. And when you feel ready, place that top hand down on the mat. Start to lift yourself up. We're going to come into a seated position. So we're just crossing our legs over, nice and easy in this easy seated pose. If you don't feel comfortable with your legs crossed, that's okay. Just bring your feet out in front, knees are slightly bent. It's good to sit in this position too, either way. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to start to loosen up our hips and our lower back. So we're just going to start to spin it out in a nice easy movement. Good. So with your legs crossed, just bring it into that circular motion. Good. So you can close your eyes if you like, or if that's bothersome, just stare somewhere at the floor in front of you or somewhere on your mat. And we'll switch directions, going to the other side. Good. Holding up. All right, so sitting up nice and tall, we're just going to do some shoulder rolls, nice and easy. Up, roll back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift up, roll back. Good. With every breath, inhale as we lift up, exhale as we roll it back. Good. One last time. Excellent. All right, pulling those feet straight out in front if they're not already there. Knees are slightly bent. We're going to pull our toes in, always creating that dynamic tension, so you want to always keep that strength in those legs. Keeping our knees bent, elbows bent. We want to let go of any, we don't want to hyperextend any of our joints, keeping them happy and healthy. So sitting up nice and tall, crown of the head lifts up. We're going to take a deep breath, lift our arms up over our head, hinge forward, reaching for those toes. Our neck always follows our spine and our shoulders sit back. We try to keep our back as straight as possible, try not to curve in too much. We just want to keep it nice and easy. Good, so each pose will hold for 3 to 5 breaths. And relax. Feel free to come out of any pose at any time. I'm just a guide, just here to show you what I think feels good, and if it doesn't feel good for you, that's okay. You can just relax, come into child's pose, or just sit in an easy seated pose. All right, so we're going to bring our hands back behind, opening up the chest. Good. So once you feel that openness, you feel the muscles release, relaxing its shoulders back. And just gently bring ourselves back forward once again. Good. All right, so bottoms of the feet come together. We're coming into our butterfly pose. So holding onto those ankles, we can pull our chest in, neck follows the spine, same thing as the forward fold. If you like, and if you'd like to, you can push into those inner thighs a little bit, opening up the hips a little bit more. Be wary of your shoulders at this point. Sometimes they like to creep all the way up. Just roll them back. Good. Slowly start to come out of that position and bring those feet out in front once again. Sitting up nice and tall, we'll sit here in staff pose. Hands down by your side. We want to use our core to hold us upright. So lifting the crown of the head up, chin tucks in. Take some deep breaths in. Good. So notice you're feeling in your abdominal area, maybe a little bit in your legs as well. So we're creating that tension in there, strengthening our core area, which is from our knees all the way up to our shoulders. Good, so we're going to turn into a twisting spinal movement. So we're going to bring our right foot over top of our left leg. Just plant it down there. If you don't feel comfortable with that, just bring the foot into the inside of the leg, either way. All right, so we're going to hug that knee, toes pull in towards our body. We're gently going to twist to the side, shoulders roll back, chest is up, gazing towards the back wall. And release forward, uncrossing that leg, bringing the other one over. Same thing, what we do to one side, we do to the other. Twisting, open to the side. Good, so we have a good stretch in the back now. Bringing those legs out in front, we're going to come to an all-four position. So we're coming onto our hands and knees. We're going to always stack our joints. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, feet under hips. Wherever we are, we want to stack those joints. Keep them slightly bent. So a little bend in the elbow so we're not hyperextending. Nice wide hands on our mat. Make sure we have a good grip. And we're going to move into cat and cow. So cat and cow, we're just going to exhale as we lift the spine up. Pushing as high as we can. Inhale, we're going to drop our stomach, head and tailbone pop up. Exhale, we're going to roll that stomach back up, or that spine back up. Inhale down. You'll notice that I'm not always with the words, so bear with me. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. One thing I do like about yoga is that there's no judgment. So it doesn't matter if we make a mistake. No big deal. It's only yoga, people. Good. One more time. Up and down. Excellent. All right, coming to that neutral spine. We're going to move into a spinal balance. Hopefully don't kick anything back there. So we're going to bring one arm up, palm faces in towards our body. We're going to extend the opposite leg out, flexing that foot. Arm only comes up as high as our shoulder, heel as high as our hip. We try to keep a straight line, hips level and shoulders level with the ground. We're going to gaze directly in front of us at our mat to keep our neck in line with our spine. Good, and release down. Now we're going to sit back into child's pose for a little break. So we're going to bring our hips back to our heels, walk those hands up, and gently rest our head down on the mat. If this is uncomfortable for you, just bring your elbows down, interlace your fingers, and let your head hover over the mat between the forearms. So this is dolphin pose, and this is child's pose. Good. One more deep breath in. Exhale, coming up. All right, back to that all four position, switching sides. Bring that opposite arm up. Extend that other leg back. Everything's level with the ground. Gaze is directly in front of us at our mat. Good, and release it back down. Excellent. All right, so we're all going to come down to that dolphin pose. Interlace the fingers, just let our head hang. And we're going to sit right back to that child's pose if we can. All right, so we're going to move into a flow. We're going to be doing sun salutations later, and this is just the introductory part of the upper body on the ground segment. So we're just going to press forward, and we're going to bring our shoulders over our wrists, Slowly lower down into a crocodile, hovering over the mat. Then we're going to release all the way down to cobra as we squeeze our shoulder blades together, hands come off the mat. We're going to press back to that child's pose and flow in and out of that. So we're pressing forward to that kneeling plank. Exhale, lower to crocodile, release to cobra, and back to child's pose. Good. So we're going to inhale forward, exhale hover, release all that air out, inhale child's pose. Just keep that going at your own pace. Inhale forward, exhale lower, exhale completely, inhale back. One last time. Inhale forward, exhale lower, release and squeeze. Good, press it back to that child's pose. Holding here, feel free to stay in dolphin. Good. Press back up to that child, or that all four position. We're going to step the right foot forward. So we'll step one foot forward, doesn't matter which one, we're going to do both sides. So bringing one foot forward, coming up onto that knee. We're coming into a crescent lunge, so our arms coming up over our head. Holding here, breathing. So try to always think about that abdominal area and your spine, keeping it in line. All right. Good. Moving into a twisting lunge. We're going to bring our hands down to the ground, and then we're going to face our knee with our chest. That other arm's going to come up into the air. So we want to stack our shoulders, bringing one on top of the other. And drop it back down. We're going to step that front foot back and bring the other one forward. Same thing, other side. Reach that arm up, those arms up. And drop it down. One hand on the inside of the foot, facing that knee, arm reaches up. If you do have any shoulder issues, you can drop that arm down behind your back. It's up to you. Good, and release down. Excellent, step that front foot back. All right, now we're gonna move back over to that other foot. Bringing that foot up. And we're just gonna come into a runner's lunge, so we're gonna turn that back toe under, lift that knee up. Good, holding here. Let's feel what that feels like. This would be a full lunge. If we were to come up all the way, that would be a crescent lunge. Lower that knee down, bring that foot back. Same thing other side, turn that toe under, lift up. Good, and drop that knee down. Step that foot back. Now we're going to come into downward facing dog. So we're going to turn our toes under, lift those hips up, press our chest in towards those knees. As you can see, my knees are bent a lot, because if I straighten my knees, I can't quite come in bringing my head between my biceps. So if I bend my knees, I create a nice long back, and it feels really good. So we can start to pedal at our heels, stretch out those calves. Good, and slowly start to walk the feet up towards the hands, coming into a forward fold position. So you can let your arms hang, cross them over, elbow to elbow. Either way, it's up to you. We're going to start to move our body in a yes-like motion, shaking out that upper body. Let all the tension and stress drip down into our mat. Good. So our knees are slightly bent. We're going to release our hands, bring our hands to our shins, slowly up halfway to a monkey pose. So the shoulders roll back, crown of the head pushes up towards the top or the back of the mat, whichever way you're facing. And we're just going to squeeze those shoulder blades together. Feel the tension in the back. Feel all the muscles activated. And then we're going to bend our knees, drop our hips. So always using our legs to come up. We're going to bring our arms out to the side to help us up. Take a deep breath in, hands come overhead. Exhale down through heart center. Good. So moving into a chair pose. We want to make sure our feet are hips width apart, shoulders back. We're going to keep our back as straight as we can. We're going to hold that core in nice and tight, and we're going to sit those hips back. Starting to be able to wiggle our toes. We want to make sure that all the weight is into those heels. If you need to hold a chair or the wall, it's always there for your support. So shift the shoulders back, neck follows the spine, holding here. Good, and slowly start to come out of that position. Excellent. All right, moving into a lateral stretch. So again, bringing those feet hips width apart, sweeping those hands up overhead, take a deep breath in. Exhale, drop the right hand down. Reach for the ground as we reach for the ceiling. So really open up those ribs, taking deep breaths in. And bring that hand up. Other one comes down. Always doing one to side, do to the other. Good. Bring that hand back up. Hands touch. We're just going to gently push those arms back as our stomach comes slightly forward. Just a nice long stretch. Good. And release forward. Hands coming down through heart center. Excellent. So now we're going to take a wide stance on our mat. So our toes are going to point to the corners of the mat. Knees are going to follow in the same direction as our toes. Okay? So as we move in and out of prayer squat, we're going to bring our hands together. We're going to exhale, drop down. As we inhale, we're going to reach up, and then we're going to exhale, scoop up some air. Inhale, bring it back up to center. Exhale, lower down to prayer squat. Inhale, lift. And forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Up. And drop. Good. Let's keep that breath going. So you want to bend your knees a lot, hinge at the hips, keep the chest up. When we come down, you can lean slightly forward. Always keep the strength in those legs. Good. One last time. Palms together. We're going to hold down in that prayer squat. Good. Shoulders back, chest is up. Feel the strength in those legs. All right, slowly come out of that and gently walk those feet in. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to move into some warrior poses. So we're going to start at the top of the mat, wherever that may be for you. All right, and we're going to step the right foot back, coming into a warrior one position. So that back foot's at a 45-degree angle facing towards the front of the mat. The front foot is forward, all 5 toes pointing forward. Now we're going to swing our hips to square off with the front of our mat. So find a nice stance for you, whatever you feel comfortable with. The wider the stance between your legs, the more you're going to be balanced. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, bring them closer in line. We're going to press into that front knee. Knee lands over top of the ankle. Arms reach up overhead. And we reach up. Good. Shoulders sit back. Looking forward, neck in line with the spine. Good. Opening up to that warrior two. We're going to face the long edge of our mat. Arms come out to the side. Back foot is now parallel with the back of the mat. Front foot is forward. We're going to press into that front knee. Shoulders back. Holding here. And turn that front palm up towards the ceiling. We're going to drop that back hand down to our thigh. Reach that front hand forward up to the sky into reverse warrior. Doesn't matter how far back you go, it's up to you, depending on how your body feels. Keep those hips in line. And we're going to bring that front elbow down to that knee. Resting on the knee, other arm reaches up. Unless we have shoulder issues, then drop that hand behind. It's up to you. You can rest on the knee, or if you want a little bit more of a challenge, bring that elbow on the inside of the knee. Finding a good position with your leg. You want to be a straight line all the way down. Nice pose. Good. So from here, we're going to move into a wide stance straddle. So we're going to roll forward and just reach for the ground, turning both toes, both feet in, the toes in towards our head or our hands. Heels are pointed out to the corners. Knees are slightly bent, and we're just letting ourselves hang here. All right, so find the most comfortable position for you and let that head hang down. And turn those heels in. Point the toes back out to the corners of the mat. We're going to bend the knees, hinge the hips, reverse swan dive up. And we're going to exhale, bring those arms out to the sides. Shoulder height, palms up. Drop the hips, bend the knees. Knees pointing in the same direction as our toes. Holding here in this sun pose. Good, so feeling the strength in the arms. Reach away from the body. Good. And take a deep breath in, palms touch. Lower down through heart center. Awesome, and walk that foot back in to the top of the mat. Excellent, all right. So this time we're gonna step that left foot back. Back foot's at a 45-degree angle. Front foot's forward. Hips swing to the front. We're bringing it into warrior one. Arms reach up, same thing on the other side. And opening up to that warrior two position, arms reach out to the side, back foot's parallel, front foot's forward, bend into that front knee, shoulders back, chest is high. Warrior two. Turn that front palm up, back hand reaches towards the thigh, reverse warrior. Ribs are open to the front, pushing all the air into those ribs. Good, drop that front elbow down to the knee, side angle, other arm reaches up, feel free to drop it behind the back, it's up to you. And we're coming back to that wide stance straddle, rolling forward, toes in, heels are out. Let the upper body hang. Feel free to cross the arms over, elbow to elbow. It's up to you. All right, release those hands. Turn the heels in. Same thing other side. Same thing as we did before. We're gonna bend the knees, hinge the hips, reverse swan dive up. Good. Bring those palms together, lower down. Prayer squat. Excellent. Slowly release up. Good. So we're going to come back to the top of the mat once again. So stepping back, we're going to take that right foot, step it back into that warrior two position. We're going to come into triangle pose. So we're keeping both legs straight this time. Knees are slightly bent. Arms come out to the sides. Now we want to pop that hip. We always want to hinge at our hip rather than at our waist. So popping that hip out, we're going to hinge forward, bringing ourselves down as far as we feel comfortable, wherever that is today. We remember just at the hip. Try not to hit the waist area. So just hold in here again with the shoulder. If you feel more comfortable bringing that arm behind, go ahead. You can rest on your leg or bring your arm out in front. Good. So coming out of the pose, we're going to bend the knee and back up to that warrior two position. For the reverse stretch, we'll come back into reverse warrior. Just so it feels even. Good. Back to that warrior two. Palms touch. Gently walk that back foot in. And we're going to switch sides. So bring that other foot back. Same thing. Foot's parallel with the back of the mat. Front foot's forward. Arms reach out to the side. Bending into that front knee. Good. Oh, sorry. That's warrior two. Straighten that front knee. Hips pop. Hinging forward. Reaching down our leg or resting on. Good. Coming out of the pose, we're going to bend that front knee, come into that warrior two position, and reverse warrior for the opposite stretch. Good. Back to that warrior two. Palms together. Gently walk that back foot in, stepping back to the top of the mat. Good. So we're going to practice our pyramid pose. It's part of the warrior poses. So we're going to step the right foot back. All 10 toes are going to point to the front of the mat this time. Hips are squared off, facing the front. We're just going to travel down our leg. Knees are slightly bent. And we're going to stop wherever we feel comfortable. So if that's halfway down, that's okay. If that's a little bit farther, that's okay too. If you feel very comfortable, come all the way down. If you have blocks or something to hold on to, that also helps. It's up to you. So we should feel a stretch down our hamstrings and in the back leg and our calf. So with this pose, I like to move into a standing splits because I'm already down here. So I usually walk my hands forward and we're all going to lift our back foot up into the air. Obviously not into full splits because, well, most of us are not gymnasts. Good. Now drop that foot back down. So the feet are hips width apart. We're going to bend our knees, hinge our hips, take a deep breath in, lift all the way up. So that blood doesn't rush too fast. We're going to exhale, drop back down, scoop up some air. Inhale, lift back up. One last time. Inhale up. Palms touch. Lower down through the heart. Good. All right. Now we're going to move to the other side. So we're stepping that other foot back. All 10 toes are forward, hips are forward, knees are slightly bent. We're going to travel down that leg, nice and easy. Hands come down to the ground or halfway, whichever one makes you feel more comfortable. You feel a stretch in your hamstring and your calf. That's good enough. Try not to feel any pain. If you want to hold on to a chair or a block, you can do so. Good. Now we're going to start to walk our hands forward, lift that back foot up into the air, standing splits, wherever that may be for you. If that's only here, that's fine. And release that foot down, coming back to that forward fold. Bend the knees, hinge the hips. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, hands touch, overhead, lower down through heart center. Good. All right, so we're going to move into some balancing poses. We're going to start with the beginner pose, which is a tree pose. So we're going to bring our left heel to our right ankle to start. We want to focus on bringing that knee out to the sides. We can keep our hands at heart center or eventually lift them up and bring them up over our head. It's up to you. If you feel like you're okay to balance here, you can bring your foot up to your calf. All right. So you can use a chair as well to help guide you or the wall, whichever makes you feel more comfortable. And then once we found the balance, we're going to bring our hands up over our head and grow our tree. Good. So feel free to keep those hands at heart center. Feel free to keep that heel on that ankle. Good. Palms back together. Lower down through to the heart. And bring that knee forward and down. Awesome. All right, so the other side, heel to ankle to our calf. Once we're ready, we're going to raise our hands up over our head and grow our tree on the other side. Good. Palms, bring it back. Lower down through the heart. Knee comes forward and down. Good. All right, so we're going to come back down to the mat now that we're done our strength portion and our balancing portion. So coming down, we're going to stand at the top of our mat. We're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to come up or go down the same way we came up. So we're going to inhale, exhale forward, and we're going to step one foot back at a time, coming into downward facing dog. Good. So the knees are bent. Push that chest in. Start to pedal at the heels a little bit in reverse. And drop those knees down. We're going to sit back into our child's pose. But this time we're going to bring our knees as wide as our mat, coming to a wide knee child's pose. So our big toes are together, knees off to the side. Sit those hips back. And you can rest down on your elbows if you like. You can come down forehead to mat. Whichever makes you feel rested and relaxed. All right, so we're going to come back up to that all four position. We're going to move into a Sunbird Pose. So we're going to pull our knee in towards our chest, and we're going to try to reach it with our forehead. So as we exhale, we're going to pull our head in, try to reach that knee. As we inhale, that knee stays, or that leg stays at a 90-degree angle. Head comes up. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, lift. Exhale in, inhale lift. Exhale in, and you get the picture. One more time. Good. Drop down, sit those hips back to that child's pose, stretch out the glutes. And back up to the other side, same thing. Exhale, pull it in, reach with that forehead. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lift. Excellent. Let's do that one more time. Good, drop it down. All right, coming onto our hips one more time. We're gonna do single leg forward fold stretches. So we're gonna pull our right or our left foot into that right inner thigh. We're gonna square off our shoulders to face that foot, knees slightly bent. Inhale, take a deep breath in, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, down to the toes. Once again, straight back, neck follows the spine. Sound like a broken record, but it's necessary. All right, slowly start to release up. Switching sides, bring that other leg out. We're gonna face that extended foot, take a deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward, down to those toes. Looking good. and release back up. Good. Bringing both feet out in front. So we're going to hold behind our knees on our hamstrings. I'm just going to turn to the side for this one. Holding behind our knees on our hamstrings. We're going to raise one foot up at a time. So first we want to find that space in between our sit bones and our tailbone. So we're coming in between, finding that part of our glutes that are a little bit more meatier. And then we're going to bring one foot up at a time, shoulders back, chest is up, hands come out to the sides, and holding here in this boat pose. So if you don't feel comfortable letting go, just hang on, it's all right. And if you don't feel comfortable having both feet up, switching from side to side works quite nicely. Good, pull those hands back in, lower down, super. All right, so we're gonna take our one leg, using it to guide us down. So we wanna find the center of our mat, gently guide us down, pull those knees right in with that knees to chest that we did before, gently rocking back and forth, give that spine massage. Great. Let's lower both feet down to the ground. All right, now we're going to bring one leg or one ankle over the opposite knee, and we're going to flex that foot. We're going to take our hands, reach through the legs, grab the hamstring, and we're going to pull the legs in towards our chest. Shoulders back, chin tucking, crown of the head up, and just feel that stretch on the inner and outer thigh. You might have done this stretch many times if you played sports in high school or whatnot. Or you still play sports. Good. Release that foot down and switching sides. So cross over the other way. Foot's flexed. Reach through the legs. Grab the hamstring. Pull it in. Nice stretch. There. And release down. Excellent. All right, so we're going to do a spinal twist. We're going to bring our arms out to the sides, palms up or down. It's up to you whether you want to grip the ground or just let them rest. We're going to extend the left leg to start, and then we're going to push into that right foot, roll onto our left hip, cross that right knee over, and we want to make sure that right hip is stacked on top of the left. So wherever that knee lands, it doesn't have to be all the way to the ground. We want to also make sure that our shoulders stick to the mat. So both shoulders down on the mat. So if you find one shoulder's lifting up, just bring it down. And if that pulls up your knee, no problemo. Looking back at your right hand if you can. Feeling the twist in the spine all the way from the crown of the head to your foot. Not to your foot, to your tailbone. Because that is where your spine ends. Good. Let's pull that back up to center. Release and pull the other knee in. Extend the other one out. Over onto that other knee. Drop, or over onto that other hip. Drop that knee across. Shoulders down on the ground. Looking back at the left hand this time if you can. And pull it back up to center. Good. Readjusting the hips. Okay, so we're going to move back into kind of like a butterfly pose, but it's a reclining butterfly. So we're going to bring the bottoms of our feet together, knees fall out to the side, and you can let your hands rest wherever you feel comfortable. So if you want them on your stomach, on your ribs, on your chest to connect with your breath, you can do so. So we want to sit them back, the shoulders back, tuck the chin in, lift the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and just let the gravity pull down those knees, releasing any tension that might be in the hips. If you find this is super uncomfortable, Just rock from side to side, bringing one knee to the floor, one knee pointed up towards the ceiling, and side to side. Pulling those knees up. We're going to bring both knees back into the chest, holding behind our knees on our hamstrings. And we're going to come into a dead bug position. So index and middle finger, yogi fingers, are going to grab our big toes. And we're going to pull those knees in towards our armpits. So if this feels super uncomfortable for you, just relax in a lying position, a final relaxation pose. This isn't the most flattering position of all in yoga, but hey, it feels pretty darn good. And release those feet back down to the mat. Excellent. We're going to do bridge pose one more time. Stretching at the back, walk those heels in, push into the hips, or push into the heels, lift the hips up. Holding here just for a moment. Take about 3 or 4 breaths. And start to release those hips back down to the ground. Extending our legs all the way out, coming into a final relaxation pose. Hands can come out to the sides, palms up in that full relaxation pose. You can also roll onto your side, onto your stomach, wherever you feel the most comfortable. Just to take these few moments, connecting with our breath, letting go of any thoughts or emotions, letting go of all the tension and stress. Just let everything sink down into the mat. Completely let go. Slowly coming out of final relaxation, we're going to start to move our fingertips and our toes, allowing awareness to come back to our minds and bodies. Opening our eyes, we're going to stretch our arms up over our head, point our toes forward, reach, 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 and bring those hands back down by our sides, stepping both feet in, back to that sleeping baby pose on your favorite side. Slowly and gently come up into an easy seated position, wherever that may be for you. Hands come to heart center. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. I look forward to doing more yoga with you in the future. Namaste.